Just for me, I see it as like the understanding and identifying that we all possess very unique differences. Unique differences. Mindsets, cultural differences, skin color, gender. We all possess differences, and which needs fostering. And togetherness. And when you bring all these things together, making sure like you can get as much people with all these differences together in one place. That's diversity, and they can bring out their unique attributes, which make like things that make them unique. If they can bring it into that room, that's a good question. This country's United States, there's so much racism, prejudice, all that, and also being black and then being male at the same time makes everything just worse. Because as a black guy and one who also happens to be a bit, on the bigger side, you're seen as a predator, like you're seen as someone that's like dangerous, a super predator. Even politicians have even used that word before. You're seen as somebody that's very dangerous. So like that prejudice is there. That fear is there. So those having all that, it can be very difficult and challenging. So getting into my career, it's very female dominated, and it still is very female dominated, because in my class we only had two men in a class of almost 30 people. Only two men, and we all happen to be two black guys. So we helped each other and everything, and we both graduated from the nursing school. It wasn't really that easy. And then coming into the professional world, the working world, it kind of got worse, because everybody you're working with, colleagues, everybody is either a white woman or like a black lady, and they're the ones interviewing you, they're the ones making sure you are the right fit, all these things. So you also have to go through their own preconceived notions of the kind of person you are, because of your gender and your race. And those people, many times, people asking you all these questions are even black themselves, they are even black themselves, to show you that even as a black person, like your own people still have like this view of the kind of person you are, without even giving you a chance. So they will ask me so many questions. They will call the patient's mom, confirm here, confirm that, before they even let me go in with the patient, which doesn't happen with my female colleagues. So that's that. Also, you also have to deal with, like, okay, when I do some home visits, I would be really careful walking up to their door, especially for the first time. When they don't know me, I usually make sure I'm careful walking up to their door. I'll call them first, even in their neighborhoods, especially for white people. It's not really that easy, because you can get shot, especially as a black guy. They see you walking up to their door, they'll think, oh, he's coming here to steal. So you have to be, very careful. All these things. It's not been really easy, but you learn to overcome and cut across all those notions and everything. Yeah.
When we that are here, we might be thinking that the issue with the blacks, that it is the whites that are 100% the contributors to it. But now you pointed out that even there is this kind of image that even the blacks have of their fellow blacks.
Yes.
That means that the issue with diversity and the challenges we have in diversity is not really only a race thing, but also a mentality thing. The mental picture that Yeah, that people just have over someone else, and it kind of streamlines their judgments. They don't give benefit of doubt easily unless you take out time to convince them of who you are.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so that mentality thing. That's why we talk about diversity a lot, especially even here in the US. Almost every major company, agency, hospital, like have a diversity department because everybody there's a very big push to for diversity here right now because they have seen a need for it. Just like you said, this mindset thing, it comes up in a place where there is no diversity. If people have had the opportunity to work with a lot of black male nurses, that prejudice would be down a little bit. They can give you that benefit of the doubt because they have worked in spaces with black male nurses. So that's the thing. That's the thing. It will help. It will help very much in changing people's preconceived biases. That's why we really need diversity in like everything. It changes so many things. Changes so many things.
I would also like to maybe tell you to be careful. Like you pointed out that some people can just be approaching their doorstep and you get shot.
Yeah, it's happened a lot. Yeah,
well,
a lot with black men. With black men, even the latest one that happened, the boy was in this white neighborhood looking for his brother. He didn't know like the main house, so he walked to a wrong house, knocked on the door, and just the door was opened and he got shot in the head out of nowhere. No one even asked him, "Oh, who are you? Who are you looking for?" All these things. He just got shot. Immediately the door opened, but thank God he managed to survive it. So it has happened a lot, like a whole lot.
Well,
you can walk to the wrong door and get shot.
Well, you have to be careful, my friend, seriously, because I don't want to hear this kind of story with you. I don't know that God will protect you always over there.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And you pointed that the efforts that the people over there are making across industries, across companies to address the concept of diversity, where there are departments and there are sessions where they promote diversity, proper acceptability of diversity. Yes. So from this, well, that's the way of educating people, okay? And can you maybe, but apart from, we are looking at diversity and, what makes us different. Lastly, you've pointed that with the story you've shared that people are not taking it serious, departments and companies are taking it serious. That means that education is one of the tools they are using as, to promote people's positive view in diversity. Now, talking of we ourselves, maybe the blacks over there, is there any positive, looking at the lifestyle of the people over there, is there any possible positive something you might have seen in their lifestyle that we Africans, can as well learn from?
For me, I would say dignity in labor and also timeliness. Dignity of labor and timeliness. Because we Africans, we really tend to keep to our African time. We never shop early for anything. We never shop early for anything. We don't keep to our time. Yeah, so I think that's a lifestyle we should really try to emulate. Also get in tune with timeliness, keeping to when we say okay, this time is the time for this. You make it there at that time, not coming 4 hours or 8 hours later. Also, like dignity of labor, like I said, everybody, any job you're doing, you should respect the people in that job. There is dignity in that job. As far as it provides for you and your family, there is dignity in it, and everybody has like a part to play in society. We can't all be doctors, engineers, business, high class businessmen, all this. Like, we can't all be that. Everyone has their part to play, and because you recognize that fact that everyone has their part to play, you need to give them that respect and